So the first question people ask a graphic designer at a networking event is, so you make logos and flyers, right? In reality, graphic designers do so much more than that. Graphic design is a multidisciplinary field with many specialties satisfying different businesses and marketing needs. If you're looking for the right partners for your next project or planning an extensive marketing campaign, here are the different types and the different kinds of designs you should know.
Brand development graphic design. Brand development is a cohesive set of visual assets that determine how a brand's identity is introduced to the world. Ideally, these assets are designed to make your business easily recognizable to your ideal customer no matter the location. For example, Adidas's 3 stripes and BMW's icon have become visual standards for their respective brands. Colors can even make a difference in brand recognition. How would you feel if Coca-Cola's logo was yellow and not red? A brand guide should contain your logo and allowable variations, brand colors, and brand fonts. It can also include best practices for other brand assets. This is useful for businesses whose branding may be handled by different designers, employees, contractors, or franchises. Companies that have a defined brand identity have consistency across all marketing materials. That means, you guessed it, brand recognition and increased brand authority. Brand development often requires the business owner or a higher level business leader to be involved. Other disciplines, not so much. To design impactful and timeless brand assets that will resonate with a business's ideal customer, designers need to have a deep understanding of your business strategy. Some examples of brand development graphic design are logos, brand guide or style guide, business cards, stationery, or brochures. This is a page from a set of brand guidelines we created for a client getting ready to launch a new online store. In these brand guidelines, we included everything from logo design and usage of brand typography. Marketing and advertising graphic design. Advertising is a graphic design hotspot. Marketing is just as nuanced as design, so it overlaps many other types of design, such as package design, publication design, and more. Marketing and advertising is typically tied to sales goals and metrics. How well did that ad convert? How many more leads did we get with that trade show booth redesign? Experienced business owners and seasoned marketers know how important it is to have visual consistency across campaign materials. Style guides help designers maintain this consistency even if it is their first time designing for the business. Now, some examples of marketing and advertising graphic design are posters, banners, billboards, magazine and newspaper ads, social media ads, like these that are created for a Caribbean nightlife event in Miami. User interface graphic design. User interface design is the visual portion of software that users can see and interact with. An app or website has buttons, icons, colors, font choices, scroll bars, fields, pop-ups, and more. This is created by a specialized UI designer. A good UI designer creates interfaces that are on-brand, interactive, straightforward, and user-friendly. Trying something new with UI design is always excellent, but good UI should feel familiar. Imagine if the up button on your keyboard moved everything down. How confusing would that be? User interface graphic design examples are learning platforms, blogs, online portfolios, e-commerce, or mobile games. This is an example of a website design that we created for one of our clients getting ready to launch a 90-day mastermind. Packaging graphic design. The package design should sell your product without a salesperson. Attractive packaging can sell your product apart while often surrounded by shelves of the competition. Attractive packaging can set your product apart while often surrounded by shelves of the competition. Good package design shares common brand elements and is recognizable to your target audience. Packaging design requires knowledge of standard printing practices like die cutting or CMYK color mixes. Package design examples include food and beverage, stickers, apparel, wrapping paper, cosmetic products, like this package design we created for Jack's Cosmetics. We also went ahead and revamped their logo so it had a more modern, clean, and easily recognizable feel for their ideal customer. Publication graphic design. Publication graphic design is creating layouts for long-form content like books, magazines, and catalogs. It typically means making a lot of work visually appealing and digestible. Good publication design uses thoughtful visual hierarchy and grids to draw a reader's eye to the most critical information. Publication design is not for the typography newbie. I mean, can you imagine if your title was like super small and then all the content on the bottom was like super big? Not for a newbie at all. It is also standard for publication designer to be familiar with color science and print standard. Publication design examples include printed books and ebooks, online and printed newspapers, brochures and email newsletters, magazines, and catalogs. This is an example of a spread from the Lauderdale Lakes newsletter, which we create every quarter. Motion graphic design. Motion graphics are animated graphics. Think of it as the current generation's version of old PowerPoint animations in transition. Motion graphics is an excellent way to breathe life into materials such as online ads. If you want a social media post with a rotating pie chart or an animated walkthrough of a new app, you want motion graphic design. The world's most popular social media platforms continually intensify their focus on video content. Brands have leaned into motion graphics to help them stand out online. This trend has skyrocketed the demand for motion graphic designers. Motion graphic design examples are animated infographics, animated typography, animated lookbooks, and simple GIFs, similar to the ones created here for Body Envy with their new ad campaign launch. Environmental graphic design. Environmental graphic design is heavily influenced by interior design and architecture. Designers create structures and visual elements that elevate the real-world experience with a space. One crucial element of environmental graphic design is wayfinding systems. This includes signs that tell people about the space they're in. These can be labels for an elevator, button labels, room numbers on doors, or directions to restrooms. People take these signs for granted until they can't find the airport bathroom after a 10-hour flight. There is also branded environmental graphic design, often referred to as experiential design. This brings a brand's elements into physical space like a trade show. With environmental graphic design, both form and function are heavily considered. Disregarding either could immediately impact a target customer's quality of life or buying decision. Think of the line to any ride at Universal Studios. Before you even get on the ride, you are introduced to the story behind the ride. This makes a 2-hour wait feel like 15 minutes, and a 30-second ride feel like 30 minutes. Environmental graphic design examples, again, interactive exhibits, trade show booths, art installations, branded wall art, or wayfinding systems, similar to the ones that we created here for the Partner Alliance event that is held by Incom yearly. Presentation graphic design. We have all done it at least once. Creating presentations has been embedded in our academic and professional lives, so everyone kind of thinks they're an expert. Wrong. If you want to bet your potential investors' interest on your colleagues' PowerPoint skills, go ahead. I wouldn't recommend it. In a situation where the stakes are just too high, you need to hire a presentation designer. Presentations that are genuinely engaging allow presenters to shine while they reinforce their message with clarity and focus. A presentation designer doesn't just understand PowerPoint or Keynote. They crush it. Presentation graphic design examples are pitch decks, educational presentations, motivational presentations, and branding decks, similar to the one that we created here for the Under Armour Hover experience. Illustration for graphic design. Illustrations are unique visual images that are often used to explain a concept or telling a story. Illustrations can be vector graphics, traditional drawings, or freehand digital drawings. Illustrations should never be confused with photographs. Graphic designers often use illustrations to help appropriately execute an uncommon visual message. Illustrations frequently upgrade company branding or make company merchandise stand out. Illustration for graphic design examples are mascots, posters, book covers, or even logos. Here's an example of illustration that we created for promotional graphics for a new single being released online. Graphic design for print. Designing for print is not graphic design for screens. Putting ink to paper is a whole other ballgame and design process. Don't get me wrong, they apply the same design principles, but you try printing 10,000 copies of a magazine with typos and wrong color codes. Things can get expensive real quick. Designers need to understand color profiles like RGB versus CMYK, typography rules, and minimum image resolutions to get the best results. Graphic design for print examples are packaging, signage, wall art, coffee table books. Here are a couple of examples that we created for a branding client, Miru Miller. They are a clothing brand, so they need, branded bags, hang tags, and of course, the standard business card. Well, maybe not so standard, something that really lets them stand out.
Now you know the 10 types of graphic design to look out for so you can find the best design partner to help you with your design needs. YKMD designers can help with all 10 from social media ads to user interface design. Click the link below to book a time to speak with me and my team.